Welcome back. Today we're going to take a look at a component that you can use to create events on your builds. Let's get started. Alright, so before we look at this, you know what? Let's load something else up. Alright, so when I was creating Kit, I needed something to control events, so things turn on in stages. So I created this block here, and over here is the interface. So if we go inside the editor,
and zoom in very slowly because the thing is so big,
we can see we have a microcontroller with events that are numbers and events that are booleans. And it also has a composite which is running through the graphical interface that loads onto Kit's dashboard. So I wanted to combine these two, and then another thing I wanted to do was if we go in here. Alright, so if we go in here, you can see it's kind of running all the events with timers and a memory register, and it wasn't very reliable, and it was kind of a mess to figure out how it worked. So what I did is I went ahead and rebuilt it. Let's get out of here. Alright, here it is. And if we look, it has a component in for the on button, and it has, of course, the events. So I believe it has 10 numbers and 10 booleans that you can hook up. And of course, it has a debug so you can see what's going on. That's not really required. I would just delete that if you're going to use this component. But the important part here is you can see I have the booleans going to each one of these paint indicators, and then I have the numbers going out to these pivots. Okay, so let's go ahead and load this up. So if you were to make some landing gear or some kind of, I don't know, doors that open in stages or something like that, you could use this. So I'm going to turn this on, and it's going to start the counter right there, and it is set, I think, to 5 seconds or whatever, and it starts opening up these pivots and turning on the lights. So those are booleans and numbers on top. So go through that whole thing, which is kind of cool. I mean, it's kind of like a dancing robot or something. I don't know. And then it stops the timer, and then we'll go ahead and click it off. You can see the light goes off. But what we can do is, right now it's closing it, but if I click on again, the light goes on. But first it's going to finish what it's doing, and then it will cycle through again and do the opening sequence. So you can't really stop it midway and go backwards, but you can go ahead and turn it off, and then when it's finished with this cycle, it will cycle back through whatever the false stage is. So right now it's on false, and so here it goes. Ready? Go back to false. There we go. Going back to false. Alright, so that is what it does, but let me show you how to set it up. So what we do is we go ahead and come in here and we set our starts. So I'm going to start E1 to 1 second. And I'm going to go ahead and go through all these and just set them to seconds.
3, 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8, and 9, and 10. Alright.
So it's 10, another 10 seconds. So it should go ahead and open up pretty quickly. So let's go ahead and do this. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Very good. Okay, now the old thing is still set up, so it's probably going to close off in whatever order I left it last time when we first started this tutorial. Alright, so that took a few seconds to start, and I'll show you why. So let's go back in here, and this is going to confuse you, I'm sorry. But down at the very bottom, we have a timer forward end. So it ends at 10 seconds, so we can put 11 seconds here. And that's because the timer would keep going if I didn't do this. I know this is kind of a hacky job, but it's just for my purposes. But I thought I'd share it with you anyways. So the timer would keep going past 11, and then when you would hit the button again, if it was going past 11, it would start counting backwards in order to do the reverse order of what it was set to, if that makes any sense. So let's go back and I'll show you what I mean. So if we wanted 1 to close first, we would set that to 10, which it already is set to 10. And let's go through these and set it to 9. Okay, it's already set. 8. Oh yeah, these are all set. I already did it. Okay, so let me show you what it does. Alright, so hopefully I'm not confusing you, but let me show you really quick. We'll turn it on, and then it will go from 1 all the way to 10, and you'll see it goes to 11 seconds here and stops. Alright, so if I didn't put a blocker in there, it would keep counting up past 11, and then when we hit the button again, when it starts counting down, it would count all the way to 10 before it would start activating. So what I did is I added those numbers so you can put an end to the counting, and then it will reset. Watch this. It will reset and start counting down. And there goes the close. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so one more thing I'll show you. So if I come over here, so if we start this one 10 now, it's going to work fine. But what we want to do is we're going to bump this up to, let's bump this up to 15. Okay, so then if I put this to 15 down here for the time backward end, it's going to start at 15 when it starts the timer, and then it's going to go all the way down to 9 before it starts. So if we had it to 20, it'll start that timer at 20, count down to 15, and then start the sequence, if that makes sense. I don't know why you would want to do that, but you can. So let's go ahead and I'll show you really quick what that looks like. So we will open it up, and then we will close it. So let's open it. Okay, you're going to see it count. We're watching it count to 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, 9, 10, 11. Alright, so it stops on 11. Alright, so now it's going to, when I hit this button, you're going to see this count to 20 and then start counting down. Okay, 20, 19, 18, etc., etc. And so that is kind of how you can do timings if you want to. Now it's waiting for it to get down to 10, and there it goes. Alright. And that's because we had that gap between 15 and, I think, 9. Alright. Cool. Alright, so that works. Okay, so what's another thing we can do? Well, we can do this. We can go ahead and click on number 1, and we can say, when it's on, I want you to go backwards. And when you're off, I want you to go forward. Okay?
I'm going to go ahead and click this. That doesn't seem right. Okay. I think I found the bug. Oh.
Did I hard code these? Oh, I hard coded them.
That's why it didn't work. Oh, jeez. Okay, so let's go ahead and fix this.
Alright, so hopefully I just fixed this. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and do these different directions. So, let's see, 1, -1, and I'll do -1, -1, -1. Okay, so we just want to see if this works. Alright, so I had to delete the debug because I ran out of room for the Lewis script. So if you can see, I have these set to -1 on off, so they are back. These I did not touch, and if we hit the start button, we will start getting our forward to a 1 on those pivots. So all of them start going, and we're done. Alright, so if we go ahead and hit that, it'll go to start to 20, go to 5, which is I think 10 or whatever, and start closing. Wait another 5 seconds, and close again. Hurry up, 5 seconds, and then the rest will close. And then these last 4 will go back to -1 position on the pivots, if that makes any sense. If it doesn't, let me know in the comments below, and I'll try to explain it again. But basically, we are going into the component, and we are setting our off status to -1, and our on status to 1, and then these are seconds when it starts, and these are seconds when it goes back down. And then down here we have timer forward, which I set to 11, so the timer stops after we get to our last one, which is E10 here at 10. This is probably not required, because when you set this number down here, it will reset the timer to 20, and then start counting backwards down. But I don't know, this is just how I got it to work, because it was late at night, and I wanted to create a component that would be all in one thing. So I will be building my kit interface in here. So the event timer I'm releasing by itself, that you can use it for whatever you want to use it for. But for me, I actually built it for this. So I still have this hooked up. But what I really want to do is, you'll see these go off because they're still hooked up. But what I want to do here is do my gauges in order. And I did go ahead and start building inside the event component, all this is my interface. So this is a separate thing, but if you hack into the component I'm releasing on the workshop, you can go ahead and add this kind of stuff where you're doing interface stuff if you want. But mainly what I created it for was just so you could go ahead and do the events with the booleans and the numbers on pivots and lights or whatever. So like I said, like right here, we're just using it for the pivots and the numbers to light up, and you could use lights or whatever you want. So if you have any questions, let me know. I know this is kind of a weird tutorial, but it should work for your needs, hopefully. And if not, go ahead and hack into it and get it to work the way you want it to. All right, well, that's it for today. I'm going to go ahead and upload this to the workshop, and you can download it in the description below, both the testbed and the component by itself. And if you haven't done so already, go ahead and click the bell so it goes ding dong when I upload a new video. And if you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. That's it. Hopefully this will be useful in your builds, and I'll see you next time. Bye!